The very world outside our doorstep is weird and wonderful, and it represents a tiny fraction of the strange, unexplained mysteries floating about in space. Peculiar phenomena can be found lurking throughout the cosmos, and every day, astronomers bring us new surprises. These are some of the strangest things we have found in space that remain unexplained to this day. Silent scream. In space, no one can hear you scream. They say that because space is a vacuum, and theoretically, sound cannot pass in a vacuum. Well, that's not entirely true. The entire universe is alive with sound, and researchers have detected odd radio signals throughout space. It seems space is full of radio waves that we use for communication, and it's loud enough to drown out everything else. Where is it coming from? Some think that it's leftover radiation from the Big Bang. Others believe it's gases swirling around galaxy clusters or galaxies themselves. But for now, the silent scream remains an unsolved mystery. Oumuamua. We are no strangers to science fiction. Such stories are full of alien interlopers secretly entering the solar system to watch us as we emerge as a technologically capable race. On 19th of October 2017, Dr. Robert Weirich spotted a strange object floating through the solar system using a Pan-STARRS telescope at Haleakala Observatory, Hawaii, and his team named this object Oumuamua, the Hawaiian word for scout. This object is quite elongated, possibly to 0.62 miles or 1 kilometer long, but no more than 167 meters wide. It's traveling so fast that it can't possibly be bound by the sun's gravitational force. We can only assume the object was formed outside our solar system, and it trekked all the way here. Estimates suggest it entered the solar system in the Victorian era, sometime between the 1830s and 1901. But astronomers don't know exactly how long it wandered space on its own before it entered our system. In August 2018, a study using data from the European Space Agency's Gaia telescope identified 4 stars that it would have passed close to in the last 1 to 7 million years. So maybe one of those was its home star. But what is it? At first, astronomers said it was an asteroid, but a closer look at its motion suggests something different. Some researchers, including Professor Avi Loeb at Harvard University, suggest it could be an alien space probe if it had a solar sail attached. Pressure from the solar wind could be helping to blow it off course. But this idea has received a backlash from most quarters, and the object is more likely to be something entirely natural, like a comet. Tiny jets of gas caused when the comet's ice is warmed by the sun could be nudging it off its natural gravitational course. But that can't entirely be true either, as comets typically reflect about 4% of the light that falls on them, but Oumuamua is more than twice as reflective. Sadly, we can no longer see Oumuamua to conduct further research, as it has fled into the outer solar system, journeying past Jupiter on a trajectory that will eventually see it leave our little neighborhood altogether. It's already too faint to see, so unless we find a way to follow it, we have little to no hope of understanding what it was. The living fossil. Far out in our cosmos, there's a ghostly galaxy. It shines with only a faint glimmer of starlight and has hardly changed for eons, and astronomers have no idea why it's there or how it formed. DGSATI was discovered in 2016, and it is termed an ultra-diffuse galaxy, or UDG, meaning it is as big as a typical galaxy but isn't as bright. And this strange galaxy seems to break many of the rules that govern even similar UDGs. Most other UDGs are found in crowded galaxy clusters, occurring when violent collisions within those clusters spit these faint galaxies out like confetti. But DGSATI is alone. It is unaffected by galactic collisions or any cosmic upheavals and has probably gone through no change since it was born. Its characteristics suggest the galaxy was formed during a very different era in the universe, about 1 billion years after the Big Bang, making DGSATI a living fossil. Rogue planets. It seems not all planets are tethered to a star system. One in particular is the SIMP J01365663 plus 0933473. a brown dwarf some 20 light-years away from us. This planet is 1.2 times the radius of Jupiter and has a magnetic field 200 times stronger. This magnetic field allows the planet to produce stunning light shows like we see in the northern hemisphere of Earth. But the auroras are not generated the same way as they are on here. Jupiter has, by far, the most powerful magnetic field in our solar system, and it produces amazingly bright auroras. These occur when electrically charged particles are accelerated along the planet's magnetic field lines before smashing into atoms in Jupiter's upper atmosphere at speeds around 3,000 miles or 5,000 kilometers per second. On Earth, it's the same process that produces what we know as northern lights, but the charged particles that make it happen come from the Sun in the form of solar wind. On Jupiter, the charged particles mainly come from its moon, but SIMP does not have a star system it belongs to, which could mean its auroras may be produced by a moon. While that's as good an explanation as any, it still doesn't explain how the planet can maintain a magnetic field that strong. Red rectangle. Throughout space, gas clouds take on wonderful, unique forms, but one nebula in particular is oddly geometric, puzzling astronomers. Located in the constellation of Monoceros, the Red Rectangle Nebula sits 2,300 light-years away from us. Its distinctive shape could be because two stars sit at its heart. If shock waves from both stars hit a dusty ring surrounding the pair, they could create two cones of bright dust. Seen together, these two cones look like a square. To add to the mystery, the nebula also exhibits a rare phenomenon called extended red emission, where its dust glows an eerie red. We don't know what exactly is causing this, but some researchers argue that it's due to intense ultraviolet light from the stars interacting with carbon-rich molecules in the dust. Dark matter and dark energy. Scientists believe that more than 25% of the universe consists of a strange substance called dark matter. We don't see it, so we can't understand it. But we know it's out there. Dark matter acts like a spider's web, holding fast-moving galaxies together. And there's so much of it that it alters the appearance of space. So when astronomers observe distant galaxies, they often appear distorted. We have enough evidence that dark matter exists, but we don't know what it is. Some believe it is composed of an undiscovered particle or particles. Others think it's an undiscovered property of gravity. Whatever the truth, dark matter continues to elude us. But if dark matter makes up a little over 25% of the universe, and ordinary matter makes up 5%, what is the remaining 70%? Scientists believe it might be entirely dark energy, powerful enough to tear the entire universe apart. While dark matter appears to mesh galaxies together, dark energy seems to want to push everything apart. In fact, it enables the rapid rate of our universe's expansion. But where does it come from? Some predict that it's produced from collisions between quantum particles, but no one can be certain. For centuries, we have looked up and wondered at the stars. Our curiosity has led us out to space. But now, we have more questions than ever before, with fantastical, unexplainable objects traversing through this proverbial jungle. But among all the lingering uncertainties, one thing's for sure: the universe is so much stranger and more complex than we could ever have imagined.